Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hope you had a good weekend and enjoyed the gorgeous weather we had this weekend. I was loving all of the sunshine. Today's a little gloomy with some rain outside, but hopefully it'll get a little bit better. All right, let's start with our devotions this morning. Here we go. The name for God today is the Lord my banner, Jehovah Nissi. Can you say Jehovah Nissi? The Lord is my banner. This one's called 7 Times Around. And Moses built an altar and called the name of it, The Lord is my banner. Exodus 17:15. And this story comes from Joshua 5, chapters 5 and 6. After Moses died, Joshua became the leader of the Israelites. He led them across the Jordan River and into the promised land as God told him to. Now what? Joshua wondered. How do we go farther into the land from here? The city of Jericho, with its tall, strong walls made of stone, stood in their way. One day, Joshua looked up and saw a man standing nearby with a sword in his hand. Are you for us or for Jericho? Joshua asked. Neither, came the reply. I am the commander of the Lord's army. Cool. Joshua knew that was an angel from God. What is your message? Joshua asked. Take off your sandals, Joshua, the angel said. You are standing on holy ground. Joshua obeyed, and then he listened to God's instructions about the city of Jericho. For 6 days, the angel said, march around the city every day with all the soldiers. Carry the Ark of the Covenant with you. 7 priests will march in front of the Ark, each carrying a trumpet. On the 7th day, march around the city 7 times and then shout. The walls of the city of Jericho will fall down. What a strange way to win a battle. But Joshua obeyed God. He gave God's instructions to the people. The priests lined up in front of the ark. The soldiers lined up ahead of the priests and behind the ark as well. So here's a picture of Joshua and the angel telling him what he needs to do. So they're all lined up and ready to go. Let's go, Joshua said, but be quiet. No talking, not even a word. I didn't skip a page, right? Just making sure. Okay. Until the day I tell you to shout. So not even a word until I tell you to. Joshua and the priests and the soldiers marched around the city, but no one said a word. Then they all went back to their camp. Do you think that would have been weird? Like to see people just marching around and not making any sound? The next morning, Joshua and the priests and the soldiers lined up again and marched around Jericho for a second time. They did this every day for 6 days. Remember, this is a six days. But on the 7th day, 7, Joshua and the priests and soldiers lined up and marched around Jericho 7 times. Then Joshua cried, shout! And they all yelled as loud as they could. As soon as the people shouted, the walls of Jericho began to shake. The people heard a rumble and a roar, and then the tall, strong walls of Jericho tumbled to the ground. Hooray! When the Israelites followed God's instructions and depended on him, he gave them victory. Now they could keep going into the promised land. So there they are, marching around, and there's the walls falling down of Jericho. So what does it mean? Have you ever watched a parade? Do you see any flags? In a parade, marching bands and floats often carry flags or follow behind big signs called banners that tell us who they are and where they are from. Sometimes the people watching a parade wave flags too. Maybe the flag of their school or of the country where they live. When we carry a banner or wave a flag, we're telling other people whom we belong to and whom we follow. One of God's names in the Bible is the Lord my banner, Jehovah Nissi. God is our banner that when we follow him, depend on him, and help others know him. Joshua and the Israelites didn't have a banner to wave when they marched around Jericho, but they followed God's instructions and depended on him to make the walls of Jericho fall down, and that is just what happened. King Solomon wrote, his banner over me is love. When with God as our banner, we know that our loving, good, and powerful God is helping us to do what he wants us to do. Dear God, I will trust you to lead me like a banner. I am glad I can follow you. Thank you, God. Amen. All right. Oh, good. Okay, so I just have one thing I want to talk to first grade about this morning. And I'm just skipping straight to math. I don't have anything new to talk to you about for phonics. I will on Wednesday. We'll have a new special sound or two, I think, that we're going to talk about in my next video. But just for today, I wanted to talk to you about adding. And I know you know how to add, and we've been practicing that a lot. But one thing I wanted to tell you about is today, or tomorrow, coming up, you're going to be adding three two-digit numbers. I know that sounds confusing. It would be like you're adding 11 plus 23 plus, let's do 42. All right, so you have three numbers that you're going to be adding. Remember, we always, 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 always start in the ones place. Don't forget to start in the ones place. It's very important, okay? And just like if we were to, even if we didn't have those numbers, you know how to add three numbers together, right? 1 plus 3 plus 2. So you add those three numbers and make sure you're writing your answer right underneath, okay? You want to line it up. 1 plus 3 is 4, plus 4 plus 2 is 6. So I'm going to write my 6 right underneath the 2 there. And then I move over to the tens place. 1 plus 2 is 3, and 3 plus 4 is 7. So I put my 7 right underneath the tens place of those other two numbers. So I just wanted to remind you of that. You could even do 4 numbers. I mean, your paper doesn't have 4 numbers, but it wouldn't be a whole lot of difference there if I had 4 numbers. Let's say, what if I had 10 plus 36 plus 11 plus 22. How about plus 22? I'm going to scoot you over here a little on the way there. I still start in the ones. Oh, let me get my plus sign here. Miss Humphreys. Oh, my goodness. I still am going to start in the ones place and just make my way down. 0 plus 6, easy, is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So I write my number straight underneath and then go to the tens place. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 plus 2 is 7. So see how I line it up right underneath. It's a good practice to have, all right, to make sure you line it up right underneath. So you're going to have some math problems in the next day or two that have 3 digits like this, and actually I'm pretty sure they have cent signs after them, so it's going to look like you're adding money, and then your answer will have a cent sign also. So that's my reminder for you guys today. Second grade, I have a few things I want to talk to you about today. So you get more of the video today than first grade does, which is okay because sometimes I have to talk to them longer than I have to talk to you. So we are gonna, what did I write? Oh, so I wrote my notes and some of them are really sloppy. I gotta write neater and then I can know what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. We have 2 different kinds of words you're going to be looking at on your phonics papers today. One of them is called, make sure I spell it right, antonyms. An antonym, okay, which is a very strange looking word. Isn't it kind of strange looking? It has the word ant in it. Do you see ant? Antonym. Say it. Antonym. All right, and then the other kind of word, unusual word we have is homonym. Homonym. Ooh, notice they both have the same ending part of their word, okay? So, an antonym is a word that is opposite, okay? Antonym is opposite, or 2 words that are opposite, sorry, opposite. So, some opposite words could be think about it for a second. What are some opposite words? You've practiced opposites for a long time because I know first grade does practicing opposites on their phonics papers. So opposites could be hot and cold. It could be good. And what could be the opposite of good? Bad or yucky. I don't know. Like there's a lot of words that could be the opposite of good, but I'll just write bad for now. The opposite of in would be out. Okay, those are all opposite words. Okay, so antonym, opposite. Say it. Antonym, opposite. All right. A homonym is two words, or it could be more than two words, that have the same sound. They sound the same. Okay, sound the same. Point to your ears and say sound the same. Sound the same, but they look different, they're spelled different, and they mean different things. Okay, so they have the same sound, but different meaning and spelling. Okay, so an example of a homonym, and actually your paper doesn't give you the word homonym, but I'm giving it to you anyway because I'm just so nice like that. Your paper will talk about antonyms, but doesn't say the word homonym, but when it talks about words that have the same meaning, the same sound, oh my goodness, I'm getting myself confused. They have the same sound in different meanings and spellings. These are homonyms, okay? And so it could be, oh, here's a good one, blue. What kind of blue is this? The color. But we also have this blue, like I blew out my birthday candles, okay? So it could be, they have the same sound, they sound the same, but they're spelled different. They have some of the letters the same, but they're spelled different, and they have different meanings. You also have the word right. Right actually has a couple meanings of its own by itself. So right could be correct, or it could be your right hand, or direction. But you also have the word write, like you write on a piece of paper with your pencil. So same sound, different meanings and spellings, okay? So those are a couple of examples of homonyms. So we have antonyms and homonyms. Antonyms are what? Opposite. Homonyms have the same sound and different meaning and spelling. All right, so that's going to be part of what's on your phonics in the next couple days, okay? The other thing on your phonics is reviewing where commas go. And most of you, as I was grading your papers the other day, most of you were getting it, but I just want to review with you where when we use commas in a list of things, okay? So I could say my favorite colors are blue, purple, and might need another. How about pink? We'll say pink. Okay, pink. I like pink. Period. Okay, good sentence. Gives you. You have your subject. My favorite colors, and then are. So, but I have a list: blue, purple, and pink, and we have to put commas in there. Okay. So when I list things, I go blue, comma, purple, comma, and pink. I don't need a comma after the and, because and is just a connecting word, connecting the other things together. And is not a part of the list of colors, okay? Blue, purple, and pink. I could have more too if I wanted to. I could have said blue, purple, red, yellow, and pink, and I still would need commas in those spaces in between the different colors. Because otherwise, if I don't have a comma here, I'm saying, this changes it. I'm saying blue, purple. Blue, purple, isn't really a color. You could have a bluish purple color, but we usually say bluish purple, don't we? Instead of saying blue purple. But if I had green here, blue green is a color. So that could change the meaning. So we have to make sure we use those commas when we are listing things in a series. They say in a series in our paper. Like, I mean, it could make a difference if you're saying my favorite foods are pizza, hot dogs, and macaroni and cheese. If I don't put a comma between the pizza and the hot dogs, it sounds like my favorite food is pizza hot dogs, which I don't think I've ever had a pizza hot dog before, but it kind of sounds good. But usually when you're saying pizza and hot dogs together, they're two separate things. So those commas are important, okay? And the last thing I wanted to talk to you about second grade, maybe this will be like the shortest video I ever do. I don't know. If I keep talking, it won't be. The last thing I wanted to talk to you about is a little review on fractions. Don't forget, if I'm saying 1/3, and you're going to be doing 1/3 on your math paper for a couple days, along with other things. Third, with the 3 underneath, means that you make things into 3 groups, okay? So remember, if I have, let's say, I've got some stars here. Is that 9? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stars. I have 9 stars, and I want you to circle 1/3 of the stars. You need to make them into 3 groups, okay? So how much would one group out of 3 groups altogether be? So you would have to have 3 groups of the same number. So what I usually do, though, is I like to look at it like this. Here are my 3 groups, and I have 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So use a piece of scratch paper to help you. So how many stars is 1/3? 3. 3 of those stars. So I would circle just 3 of those stars. So if you need to, use your whiteboard, just like I just did. Use your whiteboard. If you have on your paper a picture of, I can't remember what the picture is off the top of my head. I don't have it open right now. But if you have a picture of objects, count out how many objects there are, draw 3 circles, and you don't have to draw the objects, just if it's 12, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what would 1/3 of 12 be? 1, 2, 3, 4 would be 1/3 of 12. All right? So that's the big hint to help you out there. There was something else. I don't remember what it was. There was something else I was going to tell you. If I remember, I'll tell you later. But that was the main thing I wanted to remind you about, figuring out things that are 1/3. Oh, that's right. If I have, that was the other thing I remember now. The easy one that could kind of trick you is if I have 3 things. Let's say I have 3 moons, which are kind of weird looking moons. I don't know what kind of moons those are. If I have 3 moons, how much would 1/3 be? We could do the circles to figure it out. I have 3 moons, so 1/3 would be 1. Okay, so don't let that smaller number confuse you. Okay, that was the thing I wanted to remind you. All right, well, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope the sun comes out and maybe you get to play outside today and enjoy some nice fresh air. Actually, I love how fresh the air is after it rains. So go outside, breathe some really good fresh air today. All right, and I have a new book that I'm going to start reading to you. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.